My wrestling coach once told me people say fighting is like chess. And they're right. A lot of people think MMA fighters are just a bunch of hooligans who get into a cage and just swing their arms until one gets knocked out. But in reality, it's a very tactical and strategic sport. But my coach also said, you're not playing chess though, you're fighting someone. And it doesn't matter how smart you are, if you're weak, you're just gonna get beat up. So he told me everyone who fights needs to be strong from the top of their head to the bottoms of their feet. And this is true because I've seen many instances, not just in UFC fighters, but from my own personal experience of meeting people who are jacked, but they'll just get a little injury like their big toe or their hip flexor, and they'll be out for the season because of it. So I'm just saying every single muscle in your body is very important and you need to get everything strong. Now, this being said, there are three areas in your body that will take you a long way in combat sports, and they're things that I think you should pay a little bit extra attention to. The first thing is your back. If you look at any good grappler in the UFC, usually they have a jacked back. A person that comes to mind for me is Islam Makhachev, and another person is Kamaru Usman. And if you ever do a BJJ class or a wrestling class or a Muay Thai class, you're going to notice that your back is pretty sore the next day. And that's because a lot of grappling is just pulling movements. And for striking, your back is very important too, because since you're constantly pushing your punches outwards, of course you don't push your punches, you're supposed to kind of whip your punches, but you're constantly using your front deltoid. So if you don't work out the backside, you're probably going to develop a muscle imbalance or get some overuse injury, or just mess up your posture and become the hunchback of Notre Dame. Second thing is your legs. Everyone knows the power comes from your legs, whether that's swinging a golf club or throwing a football, or in this case, throwing a punch. It's common knowledge the power comes from your legs and not from your arm. That's a very big beginner mistake that I'm pretty sure everyone is aware of now. So if you want decent power, it's important to have strong and powerful legs. And it's not just that, it's also having a good base in your stance so you don't get pushed around too much, or when you do get pushed around, you could recover easily. And just think about how much you use your legs in wrestling. If you want to pick someone up, you have to have strong legs. Now, last thing is your core. And there's a little bit of a misconception when it comes to your core in combat sports. A lot of people say the power comes from your core. And that's kind of true, I guess. But what really happens is, like we discussed earlier, the power comes from your legs, and then it goes through your core, and then into your upper body, into a punch, or when you're grappling and doing a takedown, the power comes from your legs, and the core has to stabilize the power. So when I was younger, I used to think your core is basically your engine, and the power comes from it. But no, it's a bridge from your lower body to your upper body. So that's why if you want a strong core, just doing a bunch of sit-ups isn't always the best option. It's sometimes better to do more stability exercises. I have a video that I'll link in the description below where I talk about how to train your core properly. Make sure you check that out if you don't know how to train your core. But your core is also very important for the defensive side of striking because you need to be able to take a body shot. And a lot of people who don't do boxing assume that getting punched in the face is the thing that sucks the most, but it's actually getting punched in the body, especially the liver or the solar plexus. Believe it or not, but getting punched in the face doesn't hurt as much as you would think. And there's many other reasons why your core is important. Another big reason for me is that prevents lower back injuries. Faraz Zahabi described your core as basically your back is the bridge, and then your core is the cables that support the bridge. And that really resonates with me because I've actually fractured my spine twice, so it's very important for me to have a strong supported lower back. I also discussed this in my How to Train Your Core video, so make sure you check that out. But like I said, every single muscle in your body is important for martial arts. So don't just think you're going to train these three muscles and you're going to be the next UFC champion. All I'm saying is to just put a little bit of extra emphasis on your legs, your back, and your core. And these are the big muscle groups that I'm talking about. But there's 5 muscles that you might be neglecting that are also super important for combat sports that I talk about in this video that I'll link right here. So make sure you check that one out. And if you're new to the channel, my goal is to help martial artists and athletes with their goals. So subscribe if you think that this channel could help you. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.